So I'm assuming that you've seen the new Around the Verse, or if you haven't, you're probably going to see it. And it features the business district at Lorville, and it's really impressive. It really, really is. They did a stellar job, and that's often the case with a lot of the art teams. Working for a lot of games these days, they do a fantastic job. And I mean, all you have to do is walk around Lorville, and it is massively impressive. It really, really is. And I was really excited about it. And they were talking about, okay, there's going to be a new mission giver over here. And that's really cool. But in the future, as we kind of move into the game itself, I would actually like to see us move away from solely mission givers and just straight up missions that are handed to you and move to a more dynamic system. What I mean by that is, if you remember CitizenCon at the demo, we got the mission, or they got the mission, where you go out and you retrieve the server boards or whatever from the circuit boards from the satellite, right? And there's supposed to be a prototype one that someone's willing to pay a lot of money for, and it ends up kind of going on this whole breadcrumb mission where you go down, you invade the bunker, you get the piece, you bring it back, yada yada yada. And that was really cool. I really liked the fact that that mission kind of broke off, and then it opened up this whole new branch where if you were careful and you turned the circuit board over, you realized, okay, this isn't the one I'm looking for, but then you were able to track it down. And that was really amazing. I like that. One of the things that I would like to see, though, is I would like to see, mission content that isn't so much driven around a particular mission giver. I would like to see things open up in the future. Like, let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's say you're a mercenary, right? And you're out there and you're doing justice and paying the bills that way. You're hunting down the Nine Tails or whichever pirate org. And let's say you capture and you disable a ship and you capture the occupant. But if you go through that ship and you inspect it and you open up the panels and see what you can retrieve, maybe you find some of those similar circuit boards within that person's navigational computer or whatever, something like that. Something that, of course, requires the game to flesh out a little bit more into the future, but I think something that could play into those new features that are going to come online. So you've got those circuit boards, those hard drives, whatever they could be, and maybe you don't have the equipment to decrypt them, but someone who has a herald who's willing to decrypt them for X amount of credits. So you go, okay, can you decrypt these for me? And you make a deal and they do it, and maybe some of those result in different types of missions, like spontaneously generated missions that are kind of just for you. Maybe some of them indicate that there's a really huge ore vein in an asteroid, and it gives the coordinates, and you're like, holy, this is really valuable. I could sell this on to a miner and make extra money, draw extra rewards out of this mission. Or maybe it shows where there's a Nine-Tails stash house that's maybe only got a couple of guards, and you're thinking, shit, I could get down there with my cutlass and I could load up. And this is something that's just open to me, that I'm the only one who's going to know that it's there unless someone just spontaneously happens across it. That sort of thing. I would like to see missions that interact with different players in different ways. Maybe certain players have a special knowledge, like they're an armorer or weapons crafter of some type. They've developed that kind of knowledge through different careers in the game, and whatever they make available to us. And maybe you can retrieve weapons off a ship, and you can get a mission, say, take this either to this person or take it to this location. They can actually fix this up for you, and it's a much better weapon than what you could normally buy on the market, that sort of thing. I would like to see things open up like that with the mission system beyond just the straight up mission givers, because as much as I like them, and as entertaining as they are, and I'm sure as familiar as they are to all of us, I mean, it's hard to think of an RPG or an MMORPG where there isn't the quest hub and the quest giver. Not all of them have a little exclamation mark floating over their head, but you know what I mean. This is a tried and true format, but I'd like to see it kind of experiment with different possibilities and different random surprises that you can get that kind of change things up and make things much more interesting. And you're going, oh, okay, you know, I'm just doing this mission, and all of a sudden you go, holy crap, you know, this is a map to a stash house with 36,000 credits worth of, you know, gold stashed away, and I'm going to need X amount of, you know, cargo space. And you think, oh crap, now I can get my friends together and we can all get together in the Caterpillar or the Cutlass, and we can go raid that location and steal that gold and get the hell out of there, that sort of thing. I think that those types of missions, like, to me, that would sound like a lot more entertaining than just the straight up mission giver. Certainly there's a place for storylines and storyline missions and much more crafted experiences, maybe much more like, say, a Squadron 42 thing where you're kind of on the rails and you're doing the story much the way the game designers want you to. Like, obviously they want to tell you a story and this is the way they want to do it. But I think that, you know, sometimes it's the little surprise things that you run into when you're playing RPGs or MMORPGs, or just sometimes the ability to just go off and do your own thing and just have cool random shit pop up. I think that's an equally, if not more, rewarding experience. I think that just the possibility of a much more dynamic experience, you know, here's the story that the developers are trying to tell you, here's the story that the mission giver has crafted for you, you know, that sort of thing is cool, and it's always, you know, interesting and fun. But I think that sometimes just all of a sudden ending up on something of a surprise adventure with a really meaningful reward, I think is pretty amazing, because it's not something that you intended to happen. You might have logged on and said, I'm going to do a few missions, then I'm going to log off and do something else, and all of a sudden this thing drops in your lap and you're just like, wow, this could be really interesting, you know, this could be really cool. I wasn't planning on this happening today, you know, and all of a sudden, ooh, here's 50,000 credits. If I pull off this mission, you know, let's see if I can pull some people together and maybe do this. Maybe, you know, there could be a reason to collaborate with other players, you know. You might say, oh, well, here's this mission, and, you know, it's to go and look at the wreck of a crashed Javelin on Daymar. And you go, hey, you know what? If I bring the Herald pilot with me, maybe there's something for him at that location that can send him off on a journey. So, you know, maybe we can work this cooperatively, that sort of thing. I hope that there's things like that in the game. I hope that there are missions that are just kind of spontaneously generated that don't kind of fit in with any kind of linear storyline that may happen on any of these worlds, or any kind of linear mission progression. Just surprise things that turn up that can just turn your day upside down and just say, hey, you know what, you weren't planning on this, but here's this really cool thing that you're now going to get a chance to take part in. I hope that there's something like that in Star Citizen. Anyways, that's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in the Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.